If you're not a laser rangefinder person, then you're a GPS person. And there are a lot of different GPS products out there for golfers. And today we're going to talk about one with the biggest screen possible. And that is from SkyCaddie. I'm Ryan Ballengee. Thanks for checking us out once again. Today we are talking about the SkyCaddie Pro 5X. And yes, this does look like a cell phone in almost every way imaginable. And it appears, based on what I've seen, that it operates more or less off of the Android operating system. A lot of the point prompts that you see, the keyboard that you see, a lot of the touches feel like an Android device. And that's for good reason, because this basically looks like a phone. I mean, this is my phone here. It's a Samsung Galaxy S24, and this is the SkyCaddie Pro 5X. And the reason they've alluded to 5 is because this is a 5.5-inch screen. It's a $400 product, so let's get that out of the way right off the top. This is an expensive product. It is a high-end piece of equipment, right? So you're going to pay a pretty penny for it. And we should also get out of the way that there is an annual subscription fee to this. $60 annual subscription fee. Now, the thing the SkyCaddie will tell you about that subscription fee is that for that annual price, you get constant updates about changes to golf courses. So if the golf course changes a bunker or two, and SkyCaddie gets out there to walk the course once again, they're going to update their mapping. They're also going to tell you these are the most accurate maps available because they walk all of those courses and they do those updates themselves. They don't do it based off of, say, for example, like Google Maps, which a number of companies will do, especially those apps that you download for your Android and Apple devices on the cheap. They're basically just using GIS information off of Google Maps. And there's nothing wrong with that, but you get a little extra kind of confidence, I guess, is what SkyCaddie would tell you by paying that $60 subscription fee. And it covers basically every golf course you're ever going to play. You're going to have accurate mapping from this. Now, with the fee structure out the way, this is an impressive device. Now, part of the problem with doing a review about this is that trying to show you this live in the camera as I'm talking, it's going to look horrible. So throughout the course of this, you'll see screenshots and images that don't have as good of light, so it kind of shows the screen a little bit better then. But what I really like about the first thing in turning it on, nice and easy to turn on, just a button on the side, you feel the buzz, you get the tactile response, all right, it's on, and it starts to load up. It loads up quickly. There's not a lot of downtime from when you hit that power button, you feel the response, and then it comes on. Loads up pretty fast, it gives you a nice menu of options, and then you pick play golf. And just like any other GPS, you can have it just use the GPS function, search the sky, find the GPS unit, figure out where you are, tell you which course to play. You can also set up favorites, which is something I've used over the years with different SkyCaddie devices. And of course, you can just search for the course. If you don't want to wait, just go search for it and you go find it. And again, just like using any smartphone, use the keyboard, hit search, and you find it. It's really easy to use from that perspective. From there, you decide on the course you're going to play. It gives you a list of options. That list of options allows you to kind of customize your experience to some degree. So you get to pick kind of what tees you're playing from, what information you want seen. For example, do you want to see pins that are already always sent to the front of the green or to the middle of the green, maybe the back of the green for some reason? The information that you get and how it's displayed to you can be customized to a degree before you start the round. But what's really great about this device is just like any other. It starts, exactly knows where you are, auto advances holes when you're done, and it keeps things moving really easily. The interaction, the UX with this is super easy. The user experience is good. The user interface is solid. What I really like about SkyCaddie devices, especially being able to have it on a bigger screen like this, is that they will show you different kind of arcs of distance and overlay that on a hole. So that way, if you know how far approximately you hit your driver or how far you want to hit your next shot, you know exactly what you're getting into in terms of arcs right up front. You don't need to do any tapping or expanding with your fingers or anything like that. You can know very easily, very quickly if you just need that top level information. But then you can dig deeper, and that's what's really great about anything SkyCaddie, because the confidence that you can have in those measurements, and you can just use it just like a regular phone. You can double tap into a specific spot and it'll identify for you a closer view, and then you can really nail down your distances by dragging around the aim point marker. You can also just kind of zoom in and you can get a better, clearer view, more detailed view of what you're hitting toward and the distance it needs to carry any one particular spot. That's great. The other thing this does really well is it orients you automatically based on where you are on the golf course. So obviously we don't all hit it straight and we don't all play every hole exactly as intended. And sometimes you play from the left side, sometimes you play from the right side, sometimes you come in from the dead middle. But when you're playing a dog leg to the left or a dog leg to the right, and your GPS doesn't change to reflect the fact that you've changed angles because you've changed the dog leg, it makes it a little bit more unlikely that you'll trust the numbers that you get. So what happens visually, and what is increasingly happening in a lot of GPS units, just in terms of calculation, they orient you toward the target, toward the center of the green from where you're standing. And that's what the GPS technology adds on that additional layer. But you see it visually on this. So when you're looking at it, it automatically moves your view. It automatically moves the whole view, automatically moves the green view. And that allows you to get a more detailed, easier calculation of what you're trying to do on each and every shot. That is extremely convenient. It's very nice to have. Like I said, holes auto advance. The measurement is great. You have a lot of confidence in it. You also have the capacity with this to do shot tracking. Now, a lot of devices will allow this, and this is really helpful not only for tracking your game, but also for the efficacy of this device. Because if you're willing to track your shots and it gets an idea of how far you hit each club, now it can put on the screen what your average distance is with a particular club. So it says, okay, you need to hit driver to get this far to this target. Maybe you hit 5-iron to be short of this target. And that can give you some additional advice. Now that's non-conforming. That means you can't use it in tournament play, but you can use it recreationally, and that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. And all of these numbers help account for distances, and it also helps account for slope as well because it knows the topography of the golf course, which that's great too. So that's on the outside, or on the inside, that's right, that's the UI UX. On the outside of the device, I also really like that what you see here is a protective case, right? When I bought my Galaxy S24, it didn't come with a protective case, right? You had to buy one, and you had to have that around the same time and get it all set up, and you pick the one of your choosing. This comes with it. Now, of course, there's probably some universe of people that would want to have their own custom SkyCaddie case, and hey, that's up to you if you can find such things. But that it comes with it, already ready and protected to go, is good, because you're going to rough this thing up, right? Even though it is a phone-sized device, you can fit it in your pocket. If you ride in a cart, then you're probably going to have it in like either that pocket to the left of the steering column or to the right if you're the passenger, or you're going to have it in the cup holder, and it's going to rattle around a little bit. So to have that added layer of protection right out the gate is very nice. It's easy to charge. There's a USB-C port right in here, so it's very similar to what you see on modern Android devices and also on Apple devices too. So that's easy to charge. You've got buttons here that can increase volume or it can increase brightness. It's very easy to use. And then you've got this clear button on the side. This is the power button. You hold it in, you'll feel that tactile response. If you want to restart it or turn it off entirely, very easy to do. The folks at SkyCaddie say that this can last you anywhere from 27 to 36 holes worth of golf. So if you kind of put the time into it, the maximum battery life on this thing is about 10 hours. And I think that's probably fair to say. You're not putting the kind of strain on this device in terms of battery usage as you probably do on your phone. So getting through 2 rounds seems pretty reasonable. I've only ever used it for 1 round at a time, and that's been absolutely no problem whatsoever. This is a water-resistant device, so obviously with the rough encasing, that also helps prevent water from getting in the first place, and then having the kind of covers for the ports and things like that. Those are thoughtful elements to make sure, hey, when it rains and you're using this thing, it doesn't get wet and all of a sudden become a brick. So they have thought about that kind of stuff as well. Pretty much everything that's ever been done in a SkyCaddie device is included in here and been made a little bit better, from the haptic response, from being able to zoom in and zoom out, from the screen size to being able to move pins and locations so that you can have a more exact measurement based on your experience. You can insert pin sheet data so that it'll automatically find pins for you and give you numbers directly to those numbers if you have that pin sheet for you for the day. Otherwise, you can kind of drag and drop to take a better guess of it for yourself. You get all of that hazard data. You get all of that real-time, high-quality data with a great interface. I mean, this is a 720p display, and we really don't have many of these in the market. Again, though, you're paying $400 for this, right? And not only $400 for the unit, but you're paying for an annual subscription in perpetuity for as long as you use this device. That's going to be the knock on it. And what you have to decide is, if you want to have a device like this, are you willing to pay for it up front and then willing to pay that annual fee? Or is the difference between what SkyCaddie can promise and the utility that you get having a separate device for your distance measurement for your golf game, is that worth it compared to just using an app on your phone and more or less kind of guessing? And not because it's inaccurate, but because you just don't get quite the same level of convenience features as you do with something like a SkyCaddie. It's a little bit more manual measurement, a little bit more dragging, dropping, using your fingers, trying to figure out exactly what you want. But for something that's either free or free with advertising or not that much to buy in an app store, that's kind of up to you, right? But this is more of a higher end experience, and I think it is worth it. But again, that's up to the individual consumer. I would recommend this unit highly, especially if you're looking for something like this and you do play a lot of golf and you take your golf somewhat seriously. If you travel around, you play a lot of unknown courses, maps can, well, they can be inaccurate. If you're working off of Google Maps, changes in courses can be made, and by the time you get there, things look different. What you have in your app just isn't good enough. Typically, SkyCaddie has it right. So, that's up to you. But I did want to talk about this unit because I think it's a good option for someone who travels a lot, may have a tendency to think about having a laser because that's their preference. But even as someone who stands by their laser and loves using it, there are times when I just want a map and I just want to see what a golf hole looks like. And to be able to be almost, not quite, but almost as exact as my laser with a great UI and great user experience. That's something to at least consider the next time you're thinking about buying a laser as well. Let me know what you use to measure distances, whether you use lasers, GPS, something smaller, maybe it's a watch, maybe you're just old school and you pace it off yourself. Love to hear from you in the comments. Consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel for reviews like this and other related golf content. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.